All in favor?
Oh, did I tell you, y'all did? He cut everything in front of me. I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with that. I just came out from that. I just came out one day. Like, well, I heard somebody came to my house.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to City of Loris regular council meeting here at City Hall, Monday, October the 2nd, 2023, 6 p.m. It's time to give you an invocation. Lord Jesus, thank you for all the things that we have here in the city. Thank you, Lord, for those who work hard. Thank you, Lord, for the dedicated employees that we have. Thank you for our PD and our fire department, our council, and our citizens, most of all, dear Lord. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Lead and guide us. Help us make good decisions for the city. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Jones. Here. Councilman Hardy.
Here.
Councilwoman Cole. Here. Mayor Garrett.
Here.
Councilman Paget. Here. Councilman Phillips. Here. Councilwoman Pastor. Here.
Son's gliding right off of somebody's vehicle, right in my house. So we're starting out with public hearing ordinance 1423. Ordinance rezoning for 5 acres.
No one signed up.
Nobody signed up for that. No questions or comments?
It'd be noted in the minutes if nobody signed up. You can go to present public comments.
What was that?
You can skip the present public.
Okay, no comment on that. So ordinance 1423, an ordinance to rezone 5 acres from R2 to C2 located on northwest corner of Maple Street, Canal Street. 176-1401-0021.
I have a question. Is this property, it says RT to C2. Is it really C2 property?
It's one in the corner there is kind of the street, still blocks it. It's very close. Not really.
Is there a map further back? Is it just-
Map in your shows.
It is further back in the agenda. Under ordinances. There's not a map.
Yes, there is.
There is.
It's attached to the back of the ordinance.
Okay. Yes.
you are going from R2 to a C2 commercial. Pretty close. It's not too much.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, could you speak a little louder?
It'd be spot zoning the site.
This is just a map showing the parcel, it's not a zoning map.
Yeah.
Zoning map.
Yeah, the property is on the right hand corner, I think this shows that it's on there. As it turns to the right, the parcel lines up on one corner of the property.
It's right there, that piece of property is the one where the, right past the church on the right. This apartments, that piece you're talking about.
It's right here.
That's correct.
It's kind of catty corner from the side.
That still doesn't answer the question that was presented is, do we have a map that shows the zoning of the properties that are contiguous to that parcel?
I think it shows, you got yours on,
I'm gonna show you that right.
it's right.
What's their name?
So it's, it actually is right here. And the zoning across catty corner to corner is C2.
Right, it's kind of.
Is that 17614010013?
So if you look here, there's the property in red.
Yeah.
And the green is right across the street,
It's in the
is C2. So it is corner to corner with the exception of an intersection in that street.
Well, I thought that's the way that thing read, that's why I was just trying to make sure I understood it right. Because in that letter, she had stated it, sounded like she was saying it was
Yeah.
on C2 in
It's right
See
there.
right there. This right there, and that's the C2.
The C2 is commercial, is that correct?
Right.
And R2 is residential.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think, based on that, it's a reasonable request. Council, any more questions or comments? Or motions?
A letter from the planning commission where it's, they recommend approval.
Is there on, is this it?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay.
Probably ought to take that in the business section, it's on the agenda in the business section.
Okay.
We need to adjourn, I think, the public hearing.
Just so there's no
If
comment.
there's nobody here to speak on, there's one person to raise his hand, is that correct? Public hearing, you here, for public hearing?
Yes, I'm here for Moody, for the zoning.
No. You're still in the.
No,
No,
sir.
that is.
No, there wasn't anybody signed up for that. Okay. So we will adjourn, can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. We got a second from Councilman Hardy. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, so. We got minutes up here before the mayor report. I'm gonna do, you wanna do the minutes first?
There's only two, so there's only two there, A and B. C and D, I didn't get a chance to email out to you guys, so I'll.
Anybody sign it?
Public president. He has it.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yeah. We'll call back to order the, regular meeting. This agenda sort of got me mixed up. Yeah, so I'm gonna call to order the regular City of Loris regular council meeting. We gave the invocation, go ahead, Jen, the roll call. So that public and press comments, that's for a regular meeting. Clay,
No, so that's for
well, I don't see it anywhere else.
Just for the regular.
Okay,
It is kind of.
yeah, it's sort of. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do it that way anyhow. We do have, looks like 3 people signed up for comments, and we got one in Jen Causey. Is that as in Jen Causey citizen, or is that in Jen Causey newspaper?
Newspaper girl.
Okay.
I think we're
You got away?
Underway.
Yes, ma'am. We'll ask, Mrs. Lynn Greco.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Lynn Greco, 329 West Road. I'm just going to do a brief recap as far as where we are in adopting the new animal welfare laws for the city of Loris, so we're all on the same page. I gave a copy of the Horry County laws to Dr. Julie Hartman of Loris Animal Hospital for her review and input as far as how they could be tweaked and adopted for the city of Loris. She did just that and sent her notes on the Horry County laws, including the AAHA, which is the American Animal Hospital Association, guidelines on vaccinations to Mr. Paget. Mr. Paget reviewed the information and in turn gave it to Mr. Moss for review, and that is where we are now. Dr. Hartman unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but she will gladly answer any questions you may have by telephone. Also, might I suggest obtaining Loris police input, as they will be enforcing these new laws. I can't stress enough to please keep this ball rolling and let's get new animal welfare laws in place ASAP. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Greco. Mrs. Rita Nichols. How are you doing?
I'm well, Mayor, how are you doing? Good evening, council and mayor and citizens. I am here tonight, 4010 Church Street here in Loris. My name is Vita Nichols and I'm the president of the Loris Women's Coalition, and I'm here for several things tonight. First and foremost, I'm here asking for the support of the council for your presence, of course, on November 11th. At 10 a.m., we are hosting our Veterans Day tribute, saluting our Loris American heroes at the State Theater at 4149 Main Street, and it's free and open to the public. As you all know, we have a wonderful event planned. We will have wonderful patriotic music by the Loris High School choir led by Mrs. Joy Jordan. They will sing a number of patriotic songs and patriotic medleys. We'll have the posting of the colors by the Loris High School ROTC. And we have amongst our distinguished guests, other than our own illustrious Mayor Tal Harrelson, we're also going to have our former mayor, David Stoudemire, will be our master of ceremony. And we are going to have Sheriff Philip Thomas as our guest speaker. So as you can hear, we have a wonderful event lined up for our veterans. My second request that I have is I'm asking you all again for sponsorship from the city of Loris. We are asking you all if you will support our veterans at the level of platinum, which is $1,000. You all should have, all of the members of the council should have received one of these in your mailbox. And there should have been also a sponsorship letter that you should have received, Mayor Harrelson. If you did not, I will make sure you get a copy of that tonight. And if there's anyone here who would like a flyer for their business or to just have an additional copy, please feel free to post those in your businesses, make copies. We would like to be able to have a full house and show our great support from our city of Forest for our beloved veterans.
What was the first year that y'all did this?
This has been 7 years. This is the 7th annual Salute to Loris American Heroes. We did not have one last year due to illness, and of course, COVID held us up for one of the years, but the second year of COVID, we did it outside at the courtyard on Main. We are aware that there are some challenges at the State Theater that could be an issue with the property. And if that's the case, we're looking at some alternatives. We've reserved the courtyard on Main, and we've also spoken to the president of the Cloud Wars, and they have hospital, and they've also offered their room in the event of inclement weather. So we do have some backup plans, but we are definitely having it. We'll have a wonderful catered lunch by Food by Felicia, who is a local Loris businesswoman and caterer. And we'll have some great gifts and for the veterans. Does anyone have any questions for me regarding this?
An extra brochure.
Yes, sir, I certainly do. Would you all like one as well? Is it okay if I approach and get some to the council?
If I'm not mistaken, back when you did your first one or second one, council did pledge to support the Women's Coalition yearly.
Yes, and that is what I understood, because as you know, this is only get one to the mayor first, of course, and then ladies after that. You're welcome. I've attached a sponsorship letter to a couple of those. Those can easily be copied, and I'm gonna give the other, you can share those, and here's one copy of these for each one of you. Thank you for your support of the veterans each year. Thank you so much.
You couldn't support anything much more important than the veterans, other than our good Lord and Savior. So,
If there are no other questions, Mayor, I'll take my seat. Thank you for
very
your
much.
time and attention.
I'm sure council are still okay with doing what we did, years ago, and we've been doing since.
I never did it, I don't remember that.
It's been a little while.
Me too.
COVID sort of threw a kink in things.
We went to one at the high school. Was that the first one?
Oh, no, the very first one was over at the hospital, and that one we did by invitation only, and we had about 200 there. And then we had a second one there, we had a third and fourth one at the high school, and we had a fifth one at the courtyard on Main. And then the 2 years that I mentioned that we did not have, and we did some other things in that time.
Yeah, it was a packed house, and
It
generally
was
it's,
each time.
it's very well attended. I think Senator Greg Embry was at one.
Yes.
Mary Nichols was at one, with him. I mean, it's been, our Horry County Councilman, Mark Halsey, he's sitting right there, he's been to them. I mean, this is a great event. I'm all about doing that. I hope all council is also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, we'll move on to the minutes, October 3rd, 2022. Ma'am. Press. Jen.
Hi, Mayor and Council. My name is Jennifer Halsey. I'm with the Chamber Tribune. Several people have inquired recently about a meeting that's being held at the Morris Methodist Church on Thursday nights. And someone says it's called Loris Mafia meetings that several city council members are attending. Are these meetings open to the public? And if so, when are they announced so people can attend these meetings?
Jen, I don't have any idea what that's talking about. Council.
They're held on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m.
We can definitely check into it. Excuse me.
Yours not for sure. Yeah, your council members are attending. Thank you.
That's it. I don't know about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, any more press in the audience? Now we'll move to the minutes. And October and November minutes. And, council had time to read over those and we have a motion or any correction. Those minutes look correct. Everybody ready to approve it? You need more time? I'm good with either way. If they're all okay, it'd be fine with me to do them both at the same time, October 3rd, 2022, November 7th, 2022, whatever council meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve those sets of minutes from October 3rd and November 7th, 2022.
I second the motion.
Got it first. Motion by Councilman Hardy and a second by Councilwoman John Goss. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, unanimous.
There's a limit to those in the minutes that the December 5th and December 27th meeting minutes have been moved to our next, meeting.
Okay, we'll move forward to the mayor's report, where the Chamber of Commerce is first. Samantha Norris.
What's that on my stuff? I have a lot. Hi, hope y'all well tonight. It's October. That means it's bog off time. So we didn't think bog off was enough, so we decided we were gonna add some more stuff. So October the 17th, this is on a Tuesday, the week of the bog off, we are going to have a luau from about 6 to 8 on Main Street in downtown Morris. And then we have decided that we need to do something for Halloween. So we're gonna have a Main Street Monster Mash on Halloween night, which is a Tuesday. So then we started seeing a trend. So then we decided, and this is hot off the press, I have not announced it yet, we're just gonna do Downtown Tuesday. So from now on, from October 17th to the end of the year, every Tuesday, we will have something in downtown Loris. Not necessarily the streets closed off, but there will be something going on in Loris, in like the yard, or whether we do a food crawl, or whether we end up, we can do, this is gonna switch up. But the luau is gonna be the first big thing that we do, so that's October 17th, and the Main Street Monster Mash will be the 31st. And then, say that again. No, I actually was gonna find out tonight to see what your trick or treating hours were before I kind of said it, but I'm thinking either 5 to 8 or 6 to 8 is kind of when I was doing, because I thought about doing 5 to 8 because it'll be light for the younger ones and they're not. But
We've used,
Usually 6 to 8.
yeah,
6 to
we've
8.
used 6 to 8 in trick or treating every year.
And so that's kind of what I wanted to find out tonight, just to make sure that I think we're gonna do 6 to 8. is what I do. So then that goes on to down the list, and we had talked about, doing something Christmassy under the lights, when those lights go up. So on November 28th, we're gonna, on a Tuesday, we're gonna make that the tree lighting ceremony and have some things going on that day, and then the parade will be December 1st. So we'll just do the parade, so the tree lighting, all that will be done on Tuesday. So those are the 3 main Tuesdays of our downtown Tuesday. And we'll have a full schedule soon, because I'm working on Bog Off, but October 21st is the 44th Annual Lord's Bog Off Festival, and we hope you all will attend. It's gonna be a great day in Loris, and plenty of chicken bog to eat and lots to see.
Consecutive.
Yeah, that's the first time I didn't say that. 44th consecutive. And we did have a market in the yard this past Saturday, because it rained the 2 in September, and we're gonna just do the one for October is this coming Saturday, so we got 2 in a row, so it turned out really good. So market in the yard, October 7th, Luau, October 17th, Monster Mash the 31st, and then we have the Bog Off, the October 21st, and then Halloween's the 31st, and then Downtown Tuesday, every Tuesday, starting October 17th.
And that's through the end of the year.
Through the end of the year, every Tuesday. And of course, we're gonna do something. And I have a list soon, I just haven't gotten that far. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. As always, Samantha and the chamber, they do a fine job of promoting Loris. We owe a lot to them for all they do. Couldn't say thank you enough. So the hospital report this week is the same as it was last month. Everything's going along smooth. They have new things going on every day. And there's not a great big uptick in COVID. So that's good news. It's all thumbs up with the hospital at this point. So that's a really good hospital report. So we're loving that. Coffee with the mayor is October 12th, 9 a.m. Always the second Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. Right here in the community room, right across from Walker's, right beside Joey's. Come in, no gavel, no microphones, no certain order to speak, no dress code, no anything. All just talking and eating and drinking coffee and enjoying each other and talking about the city of Loris. Move on to the Christmas update. Jordan's not here, but he has told the guys to be working on those stars, and hopefully there'll be one here for everybody to see, a new revitalized star that maybe you can bring in for the next council meeting. Or actually might be already some of them up on poles by then, because it's almost time to start decorating for Christmas, believe it or not. So that's exciting. And the new star tunnel, whatever it's described as, has been ordered. So hopefully it'll be here and be getting set up soon also. I think everybody's going to enjoy that a lot. Thank goodness it's ordered and on the way. American Flood Coalition, they called earlier, they called last week and wanted to stop in and speak and browse over some maps and ideas and help us figure out how to get some of the federal grant money. And some of the ideas we've talked about right here with retention ponds and whatnot. Jordan and I talked with them for an hour and a half in the community room, and Jordan identified some places for retention ponds or thoughts of retention ponds and some different flooding events and what was happening and where it was happening. have video backup to show them what's going on. And, so they have a whole lot better ideas of what we're facing with our floods down here on Maple Street, around on Holly Street, Fox Bay, Forest Drive, and a few more areas. And so they're all about trying to help us with that. They do have maps and some of our mitigation things that we gone over with them. And hopefully we'll get a lot of good news from them in the future. I have a lot of faith in them. I appreciate them giving us this opportunity. The old high school property, it's looking a lot better. We're working hard on it. Still got a little bit of buttoning up to do. They're mowing it and trying to keep it down where it does look nice, and they will get another mowing on it before the bug off. So it does look a lot better. Anybody that's been by the old high school, it looks better, but it still looks like it's tumbling down. Recreation Center on Heritage Road. Did speak a little bit about that, and hopefully would love to see some things happening out there in the next 6 or 8 months. We've really done great with our rec sports. And the new property of 38 acres out there, we'd love to see some. I think everybody that's got kids, and everybody that doesn't have kids should want to see that up and running soon. I'm really proud of that, and hopefully we'll get that kicked off soon. There has been negotiations with Horry County about working together to get that gym facility on. And Mark, would you like to add to that? That's our Horry County Councilman, Mark Causey.
Yes, we certainly look forward to being able to cooperate with y'all in some manner. I think that's the best way to cooperate, instead of competing against one another. We know the amount of kids that are unincorporated, probably 80% in the county or more. And I think we're gonna try to schedule some meetings here in the next week or so to discuss that some more on that particular piece of property.
We really appreciate Horry County and what they're willing to discuss with us. And they want the same things we do. The very best thing for all the kids in our community, inside of Loris and outside of Loris, and have a safe place to be instead of on the street somewhere getting in trouble. So thank you. And thank you to everyone else at Horry County.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mark, could you be sure that each council member has sent a notice of when you said that meeting would be?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
So Watson Park, I went to I was invited to go to a meeting out at Watson Park. The Lonesome Riders had a meeting out there as to where they grilled and they raise funds and they do motorcycle rides. So like some people do poker runs, but they do motorcycle rides and they raise money for kids and different things like that. And I was invited to go out there and see them. And that's really a great group of people doing great things. There were several people out there. Some of them spoke. We had one senator showed up on Mr. Kent Williams. He was there. So last week or last month, when I said that I had some information and had a drawing drawn up of Watson Park, I said I would bring it to this council meeting so that everybody could see it. And it's just a proposal that was drawn up. And I just ran the copies off a while ago. But it's a proposal, and you can't get anything done without first getting to the drawing board. So this is put on paper, and here's a copy if anybody would like to see it. So there's a proposal down there to possibly provided, counsel and run it by the recreation committee. They can take it and they can go in a committee meeting and talk about it, come back with recommendations or this or that. But, Tim actually had this photo and then he resigned. So when he left, it didn't get proposed by Tim. So he moved on, but it's still here and it's still on our minds. Council approved fixing the roof not too long ago. We got the new cameras out there to keep people safer now. But this right here would put a new parking lot and also four basketball courts, which would put 5 in total out there. And it would be where that you could have actual basketball tournaments over at Watson Park, just like we have baseball and softball tournaments out at Kempton Field, which would be, to me, a tremendous thing. But, that is a picture of it, and that's, just a draft of what could happen, or there might be a million more things that could happen, but that's just a draft to look at. And, was drawn up just like the one was drawn up on Heritage Road out there. The only difference is we already own Watson Park. So we got a nice big building out there and we're supposed to be getting some bids, I think, on fixing the park that's always been rented out. So for reunions and things like that. So hopefully we can move forward with that soon. I do have one thing that I would like to bring to everybody's attention, and this is a statement from me that I wrote down, and I would like I'd like to read it right now. So when I got elected to be mayor of the city of Loris, I was excited to begin this new journey and help the city grow and become a destination to be proud of. This has been one of the most rewarding things I've been involved in. As mayor, in the last 4 years, we've rebuilt all recreation fields in Henderson, Heritage Road. We opened up to bring in girls softball tournaments and boys baseball tournaments. We got a state-of-the-art rec field. We have as many as 80 games in a weekend out there sometimes, which is huge. When Mr. Drozdak was here, he purchased new grilling equipment, new everything. Council approved that by resolution over when we were having meetings over in over at American Legion Hut. This has never been accomplished before in the city. We've become a destination to visit during Christmas time. And that hadn't been done before. To continue these things is really important. The city of Loris Police Department is better than it ever been. They got equipment that they need. They need to keep getting it. They don't have everything they need, but they got enough to be able to do a great job. And we need to really stay behind that. Our public works department's moving forward with equipment, but it takes a good while to replace everything, but it hadn't been replaced in 20 plus years. When you're having to replace everything at the same time, it tends to be pretty hard and expensive. But a lot of times it's more expensive to keep it than it is to buy new stuff. I learned that in my business. We're heading the right direction, but it can't be fixed overnight. The department has some very dedicated supervisors who go the extra mile. I think Jordan Phillips, he comes out at night at 12 o'clock. He didn't call somebody unless he's got to have help. Ricky Bellamy back there in the back, he makes himself available there for us, for questions and whatnot. If we call him on the phone, he's always right there. Without them, we'd be in a tough position. The Chamber of Commerce in the city of Loris have partnered to do many things together. Samantha and all Chamber helped us be a part of this historical move in the city of Loris. We've done things we've never done before last 4 or 5 years. To them and all the dedicated employees in the city of Loris, I want to thank all of you, every one of you. We, of course, like most places, we have naysayers and we have people that don't want change. We get held back by things. Sometimes it gets held back just because it ain't happening on their watch. And I fully believe that. In the last council meeting, a motion was made at the end of our meeting to audit hospitality funds. This motion was made even though it wasn't on the agenda and it hadn't been discussed by council. Although some on council knew about it, but not everyone on council. This is my opinion, but nothing like that should happen. In my opinion, it's a political ploy, a political stunt to try to cast doubt on the leadership in this city right now. And I'm saying this from my heart and I mean it. This city has good leadership. This type of thing seems to happen out of the blue, sometimes at the most convenient times for the parties involved. This is not the type of thing that should happen. All it does is cast shade on the entire city of Loris. It's a council form of government, and I know that. And everyone on council is involved in everything that happened the last 4 or 5 years. It didn't just happen, it happened 4 or 5 years ago. Everybody that's here was there, with the exception of Andrew. I think maybe we should take it back further than 4 or 5 years and check to see just how we could have ended up with a historical building like Loris High School in disarray, falling down. See who was involved in that and what way they were involved. Also look into land leases and things like that. Land leases that might be between council and city. I think that a lot of things need, if we're going to audit, we need to audit. I mean, the city of Loris has spent a lot of money to use a piece of land just one time a year to take care of it year round and spray it for ants and weed eat and mow. There's a lot of dollars involved in that stuff. Doing audit's perfectly fine with me, but let's doggone audit everything. Today, we're dealing with many, many things that I once heard in this very meeting by an old employee. He called it sins of the past. He stood right there at that podium and said, we're having to deal with sins of the past. Everybody knows where the hospitality funds have gone. All you got to do is look around. You see where they've gone. They've gone everywhere they were supposed to go. And everybody in the city of Loris likes it. They appreciate it. You know, those employees, like the one that said sins of the past, he left. And we don't keep a lot of employees of expertise because they get run off somewhere because somebody's micromanaging them and not letting them do their jobs. They can't work in peace here with somebody crowing down their back. I think a group of council people should be able to discuss things and move forward with changes that need to happen. It's obvious that the changes have helped the city of Loris. All you got to do is really look around and see the much hustle and bustle that's going on in these streets and the people that are buying businesses and buying property and proposing new buildings. We don't need to sit around and do nothing at all. We're elected to make things better, not kick the can down the road. The only way to do that is with action. And we've been taking action, and it's proven to be a good thing. And I said that passionately, and I believe every word of it. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to talk to them after this meeting. But I felt like I needed to get that off my chest because, it just needed to happen. And we'll move on to the committee reports. And, each person or group of people, if you actually have a committee, report, if you'd let me know, we'll start out with Finance and Personnel Committee. Public Safety Committee.
We did meet, we met Friday, September 29th. We discussed, a few items of business in particular. The police department is currently down 2 vehicles that are not, in condition to be repaired. We reviewed possible options for, how we might replace those. We felt like as a committee, it was in the best interest for the city, to revisit, the proposal that was made, earlier with Enterprise Elite. The cost to purchase 2 new vehicles to outright replace those, we felt like probably exceeded what we were able to do in addition to what's forthcoming with additional vehicles over the next 2 or 3 years needing to be repaired. So it was our recommendation to council, that we revisit, negotiating that contract with Enterprise Fleet. It was also brought to our attention that, we are under review for the CJSD, Global Administration, program that we currently have. They've been communicating with the police department on some recommendations for things that needed to be adjusted. That program is supposed to have 2, city employees who have global administration rights over that. And those people have access to all information in the city. And it's our committee's recommendation that those, rights be given to, our city administrator, who is currently Clay Young, and Lieutenant Larry Williams.
Thank you, Councilwoman Visconti. Buildings and.
Mayor, I
Yes,
also wanted, yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Not more, but I just wanted to go back to that, we would like to request council's approval for, one or both of those items by resolution if they see it. That's all. Especially, of most importance was the rights for the CSJD, because that is under review and that does need to happen as soon as possible for those, people to be given those rights so that we are in compliance.
Thank you.
Mr. Young?
Yeah, I can make those changes, like you did. Well, it's the police department, I know, Mr. is exactly correct, and there has to be certain requirements based on the police department access to certain now. Especially the CIC. I don't mind making those changes myself. Us.
Anyone else? Buildings and ground,
We did not have a meeting?
Recreation Committee.
No, Mayor, but we will be meeting, hopefully before the next council meeting, we'd like to take what you presented tonight with the Watson Park, plan, and some other things that we need to discuss as a committee and bring to council, so.
Yeah, and Senator Williams, by the way, did say that he would be happy and more than happy to help us with that Watson Park plan when I spoke with him over there on Saturday, this past Saturday. So it was a great thing to hear. I held him to it in front of the crowd too. So I know with Tim being gone, we got two people out there, and it's, I know you and Woody been talking, you told me you have been, so we definitely, gonna have to do something there soon. So we got the, Planning, Annexation, Economic Development Committee.
We have not had a meeting,
Right. But we're basically, Waccamaw Regional Council of Governments has been meeting with the Planning Commission. They're, thank God, we're in the final stages of getting the comprehensive plan done. So, the comprehensive plan should be done hopefully in the next couple of months. And so we'll be able to present that to council. So if anybody's interested in attending some of the planning commission over the next month or two, they'll start giving you more detail on the comprehensive plan and the zoning orders will come after the comprehensive plan. There'll be some, just you got a heads up, there'll be some recommendations and changes in zoning orders and zoning regulations on that comp plan. Because you remember comp plan is done for more than 10 years ago, so the changes go along, the comp plan goes along with those changes. So as a district will change, you'll see some districts that'll be modified.
Did you have something to add?
I was just gonna say, we need, that date is coming, that's what we had talked about, and it won't be long before we'll be getting the information.
Yeah.
Just a long process of evaluation.
It's a long process. It's well worth it, but it takes a lot of moving parts. And the planning commission, I want to recommend that they've done a pretty good job too. And been at some of the meetings I had too. They have really done a good job of trying to stay on task.
Okay, we'll move on to, Public Works Committee.
Public Works, we have not had a meeting since the, last time we were there.
Move on to ordinances, first reading ordinance 1223.
But Mayor and Council, we did get a recommendation from the planning commission that was referred back to the planning commission, and they recommended that they would not approve this first reading.
Not approved.
For the planning commission.
We'll move to, the second reading of ordinance 1323.
Council will take.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess regardless of back that age, Mr. Mayor, regardless of the planning commission's recommendation, it's on your agenda.
We still,
Act, so
Motion.
Okay.
if it fails, there's no motion made, or the motion made, you carry its course, but
does a member of council have a motion?
I make a motion that we, accept the planning commission's recommendation to disapprove the rezoning of the ordinance 1223.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Passes. So we have, B, second reading of ordinance 1323.
Planning commission want to make a change, that one, that's want to make a change that from R2 to.
for me, it was an annexation. The request annexation.
But instead of R2,
It is all 1.7. And that was, that request was actually made at the planning commission's public hearing. And it is reflected in the ordinance that you have in your packet.
And the difference between the R2 is there's 10
Units per
10 units, and you get an R1.7
unit seven.
to 7. So there's a difference in units.
Yeah, it says it here in this ordinance, but it doesn't say it on this paper.
I have a question. Yes, that intention was structured since they got the recommendation from commission.
Yes.
But they
Do we
didn't-
have any documentation? Do we have any documentation
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they accepted that,
That they accepted.
that the person
I know
applying
it instant.
would be willing to accept the planning, commission's recommendation for that zoning change? Because originally you said it was not 1.7, correct?
That's right. It was, yes.
That the current property.
That's right.
I didn't know what, the principle of that was Prince. If you prefer to annex it with a different zoning you requested, or if you prefer not to annex it, based on the recommendation, was y'all know.
You can table it to the next meeting.
So in the meeting, I'll read you what's in the minutes from the planning commission meeting. It says the public hearing was opened at 4:53, with Mr. Jamie Steele and Mr. Neil Johnson, agent for the applicant, being present. Mr. Steele stated the applicant would like to annex the property to the city limits to develop 31 single-family lots only. He added that the development would meet all requirements concerning the land.
Yeah, that front part of it is the wet area up there by the cold storage. There's a little drop in there. It's pretty wet.
That thing needs to reflect, the ordinance needs to reflect the
Right.
1.7.
It does. The R1.7, the ordinance does,
Is that on our sheet?
not on the agenda, but it does on the ordinance itself.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's not in both places. It's here, not here.
There's a gentleman in the back that raised his hand, I don't know.
Yeah, that's, I take it that you're,
That's
part of this.
Good evening, Council. James Steele, 315 Main Street. At planning commission, we did the recommendation by staff, let's go to 1.7. And being the time we did move to that, so we did accept that. The out allows for 6,000 square feet, single family only.
Okay. Council, any questions?
And it also mentions in there, after discussion, the applicant agreed to reduce chances of, I haven't been here.
The ordinance drafted does confirm 1.7 zone.
I make a motion, we approve the recommendation of the planning commission to approve the rezoning.
Give me a second.
Well, but it's actually requesting annex and assign them.
Right.
Annexation and the rezoning of R 1.7.
I have another question. Is there any plan that has been submitted to show any type of, effort on the developer's part to help with any flooding or, things that might be a result of this? property.
There has been a plan that was submitted, and we're gonna take the proper, steps to follow for, there's actually a 0.94 acre pond that's gonna be for stormwater. That's reserved for that, it's gonna ditches as well, and meet all city, requirements for that. So, to me, reductions that we need for stormwater. We will not be disturbing any of the wetlands as well.
There's only one place with wetlands on that piece of property.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
How many acres did you say?
It's a 1 acre.
1 acre.
Yes, ma'am.
My motion that we annex the property and zone it from a 1.7, R1.7.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
We have a first from Councilman Paget, and second from Councilman Hardy. Let's vote on that, please.
Councilman Strauss.
Yes.
Councilman Hardy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Councilman Paget.
Yes.
Councilman Stokes.
I'll disqualify myself from voting, the property's on the.
And then Councilwoman Piscotti.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, that motion passes. And C, first reading ordinance 1423, rezoning 4 5 acres.
That's what we discussed earlier.
That's what we discussed earlier. From R2 to C2. It's right over here. It used to be a barber shop, and it's council, council, any discussion, question?
Yeah, we will answer all the questions.
Where it's located and how it's located. Seems to me like a reasonable request.
Seems to be okay. Anyway, I'll make a motion to approve this.
We got a motion from Councilman Hardy to approve it. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second from Councilwoman Coleman. Let's vote on this.
Councilwoman Strauss.
Yes.
Councilman Hardy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Councilman Paget.
Yes.
Councilman Stokes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Piscotti.
Yes.
Yes. So that motion passes.
For me to pass,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much, appreciate it, okay.
Sorry you had to wait so long.
All right, so we can apply for a permit now, right? Coming,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Resolution 06-23.
Yeah, this is a resolution we received from the,
Well, actually, we received it from the county council. They asked to add an additional piece of property the business park out here on 21. As explained to me by the Spivey, there was an addition plan for one of the additional buildings out there, and they discovered that the adjacent property they were trying to expand upon was not included in the multi-county park. And so he's asked us to pass this resolution to confirm that Lewis will accept that additional piece of property into the multi-county park and do the same treatment as the primary part of this business we're on.
Which piece was this again? Is there a map in here of that?
There's not a map in here that I try to find it. Yes.
It says 4.55 acres.
I believe that's what it was.
That's what it is.
Carolina,
They're trying to explain.
Okay, there you go.
Carolina, what's,
food service.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
They're trying to expand on the existing property and they determined
That
that
was
wasn't
it.
in the park, they wanted it to be in the park.
Is it on the railroad side or is it?
It's on the other side. When you pass it on the right, it goes all the way back to the water tower.
Yeah.
And it's always been drawn on our map as being part
Yeah,
of it.
if you look at the old map, it's there, but for some reason, it was not really a part of that parcel, is not this. Industrial park. I want to make sure it's in both Kent Park.
This is probably, y'all probably thought it was not a unit.
We did.
Yeah.
The number was off, so I think it's a good idea.
Definitely think we need to do that.
Make a motion to approve the resolution as presented to us.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Flip over here to business. On business, request to annex 98.85 acres.
So, Mayor, council, I've got somebody here. Yeah. I think there was some questions about what y'all are doing in property, dealing with wetlands and things like that.
And also some further discussions with planning staff on syncing with your comprehensive plan efforts that are all going on. And we, due to whatever confusion happened between, we didn't know about the last meeting, so we weren't here to be able to have this kind of conversation today, so here we are. But first off and foremost, we've spent the last several days, in the last week and then extensively this afternoon to turn this simply into an informational aspect of the discussion. Because of the standing efforts that are being put together with your comprehensive plan, and so forth, the Waccamaw Regional Council of Governments, along with Meredith and so forth, said it would be better served for this property as well as for council and as well as the planning commission to come in behind the comprehensive plan amendments rather than being run concurrent with it. So we've agreed with that process because you're gonna have a lot of efforts that are ongoing with the comprehensive plan, and that will better align what this picture is to what your comprehensive plan is actually going to be saying. Since the comprehensive plan is basically 15 years outdated, so this will sync together. So that's why we're here for an informational meeting, because we want to be able to talk a little bit about the property, about the project, because we've spent about 2 years to get to this point, being very diligent, working with the owner of the property. And we know there's a lot of issues with wetlands and stormwater and so forth, and we've been very diligent to that. In fact, and people always ask, well, how much effort has been done on the property? Because usually if people want to come in and annex and rezone, they're just annexing and rezone, but they don't have the picture, they don't have the story. So this particular piece of property has already been surveyed, the subdivision plan has already been created. The Army Corps of Engineers has already agreed to the wetland elimination. We have a conditional permit on a nationwide permit as it relates to being able to provide a secondary access point, which is required when you have this many lots on a particular piece of property. But it's that, when you get into this piece of property, it's a 98.85 acre piece of property. We were originally coming in under 1.7. 1.7 obviously allows you to do lots of things, but with this particular piece of property, almost 38 acres of it is wetland, and that has been truly signed off, delineated, and surveyed by the Corps of Engineers. Its only condition that's waiting right now is concurrence by the coastal zone consistency of DNR. We are going to be forever putting those wetlands into a restrictive covenant, so they will forever be protected and will not be touched, because that will be a recorded covenant against the land that will run on even past the point of our involvement as a developer and declarant. It'll even extend to the homeowners, that they won't be able to touch those wetlands. In addition, we've already gone to the length of preliminary infrastructure layouts to understand the water and the sewer, and have availability and capacity coordinated with Grand Strand Water for a sanitary sewer pump station be centrally located on this particular piece of property. Furthermore, we've done preliminary drainage plans to understand the property. Those preliminary drainage plans told us that we needed to come up with nearly 13 acres of ponds in order to make sure that we do not create any additional drainage beyond what's currently happening on the property. There's pre-development, post-development, all those magical engineering topics that you always hear. But through that process, so in addition to the nearly 38 acres of wetlands, we have 13 acres of ponds. So now over half the site just is either going to be ponds or wetlands, which is going to help with the overall stormwater management of this area. Furthermore, another nearly 12 acres will be common space. That won't be developed. It won't be a road. It won't be a lot. It'll be just open space. So that means at the end of the day, the 121 lots that you see on this particular plan, even though you're allowed to do up to 7 units per acre on the 1.7, this plan only yields 1.22 units per acre. So we feel like we're being a good steward of the land and a good steward to the community, but wanted to be able to help convey some of that to you today, because I know that was a topic of discussion with planning with Meredith as well as Tom last week and this week with my staff. So our intention right now is to be able to answer questions, generally what you have on it, but we are going to step back, allow for the planning commission to address the comprehensive plan and do all those various amendments, and then then we'll be better aligned with this plan coming behind it. Our understanding is this plan will actually marry in right behind and be, but the comprehensive plan will be coming forward to you. We'll be able to help do the stair-step zoning that works your way from higher density inside the city of Loris and transitioning out to the rural districts. And according to Tom and Meredith, this plan actually helps facilitate those efforts down the road. So they requested us, and we've acquiesced and agreed to that to come in behind. So based on the timing of whenever you do that comprehensive plan amendment here, I think it's going to be coming in front of you later this fall, be adopted, and maybe hopefully in early 24, then we would come back to the council and be aligned with our plan behind that. So that's kind of where we're sitting today.
I'll tell you what, on that drawing and that plan, I know a fair amount about that piece of property, and to see that drawing, it's obvious there's a good bit of work been done on there.
Yes.
It's very, very obvious.
No doubt. May I ask a question? I didn't catch your name, sir.
Oh, sorry, it's Kurt Sanis. I'm actually the leader of the coastal division for Four Star Real Estate Group. We're the master developer. Should have introduced myself.
There's no doubt that a lot of work's been done in this plan. And the comprehensive plan won't tell you what I'm about to tell you, but we do need to share information, and I'm glad you came with that spirit and sharing information here. The city did requisition a stormwater plan several years ago, which told us that we were deficient by 10 to 20 acres in stormwater retention on this side of town. So it's a very sensitive topic. And this site plan, of course, doesn't show us a lot about what the stormwater design is. So if y'all gotten that far in the engineering plan, it would be helpful to have your engineer share that too, so we can provide that to the city's engineer. It's a big issue since we're already fishing on that side of town now.
Yeah, our team furnished the actual stormwater plan already to, this is the pretty picture, but the layout of the stormwater drainage network has already been furnished to Meredith at the top. I believe that was last Thursday or Friday.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
My recommendation to council is to share it with you and help us one more plan. While we wait for the comprehensive plan to go to its course.
I think it's, that's very impressive, because a lot of the water on that piece of property comes this way anyhow.
That's correct.
It looks like 20% of it was devoted to stormwater retention, and that's aggressive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not lost on me,
No,
but I think you ought to give those stormwater plans to our engineer.
primarily has been, so if your staff would like to share that with your engineer, our engineer, right here, is in Horry County, Sarah Joyce Moore, how many people might be familiar with Bobby and Sarah, but we've done a lot of work with them over the years, and so we're very pleased with being able to, you know, I don't, you guys all know how little sometimes ponds show up on development land. When you dedicate 20% of your upland area to ponds, that's about twice as much that typical developer would typically do on these projects. Standard in the low country is 10%.
It's not lost on me how long it takes to get the CZM approval also.
Yes.
So it is encouraging to have something to look at in advance of when we need it.
Council. Questions?
No, he's pretty much covered everything.
Thank you.
Well, if at any time you have any questions, be sure to let Meredith know. We'll be happy to answer them.
Please, if you don't mind leaving your number with Clay.
I will. All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Joe. Thank you.
You say your last name was Santos?
Sandness, like sand and then Loch Ness, so Sandness.
Oh,
So
okay.
good old Norwegian name.
Loch Ness, I can remember.
Yes.
Skip grant agreement.
Yeah, we received grants, for the ship grants, this is for the engineering services, which were provided, and engineering was the one chosen for that. The grant application, these documents been submitted to ship for approval. And so I guess this is the contract they sent back and looked over. There's a lot of different things in here. Basically, it's a lump sum of $425,800. We got advertising fees, type of American non-steel compliance, and really putting fees and what the fee contracts. That's in addition to 425. All that's included in the grant, so it's really no additional money that we project for, so it's always covering the amount. The only thing I was looking at is the last sheet in this document shows that the project should be complete by the end of August of 25. That will keep us in compliance. We need to have it done at least by the end of August of 25, because my understanding that they need to have the project evaluated and closed out on the state level by June. So I would recommend that council approve this agreement submitted by an engineer that passed on to the state. And this project will be underway.
So any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve and then
Second.
We got a motion from Councilman Hardy and a second from Councilwoman Vescovi. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. C, traffic enforcement mutual aid agreement.
Yeah, we got agreement from Gary, police department, chief police chief, he sent this agreement is just a renewal of agreement. It's from the 15th Judicial Circuit Traffic Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement. It actually runs from October 1st of 23 till September 30th, 25. And gives us as a part of the team based on the 15th Judicial Circuit Traffic.
So we have to renew that every year.
We do. It's a two-year agreement. It's just, our 2 years is up, so it's a review for another 2 years.
I reviewed quickly the agreement tonight. I had not seen it before tonight, but it does comply with the statutory elements of the law enforcement system and support act. But the title's a little bit misleading because it implies in the title is 15th Judicial Circuit Traffic Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement, but the body of it's not limited to traffic, which is meaning how we do with the law enforcement, which it should be.
Right. That is correct.
Council, any questions, comments, motions?
Make a motion that we approve the mutual aid agreement for the time period of October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2025 as presented.
so
We got a motion from Councilwoman Vescovi and a second from Councilman Hardy. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. D, enterprise fleet vehicles.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Mayor, Council, I did get a proposal from back, from Enterprise, a couple back in May or June. And there's a breakdown of this. I think the price is about the same. I think you talked to Scott. I think it is, but I'll let Scott give us an update on proposing actually how much it's going to cost and what the maintenance associated with other vehicles to get your time. So hopefully I give this. I know they're busy, I'm sure they're back up trying to get the vehicles in the process.
Okay. Is that all?
That's all.
Mr. Clay?
That's all I.
That's it. We're going to E with Florida Film and Arts Commission, Jerry Dalton. How you doing, Jerry?
Not as good today.
Not as
I
good.
always approach this bench with a lot of enthusiasm and wishes and hopes and things that I could see that would help to improve Loris. Ideas to make Loris more of an attractive and economically viable location. It really disturbs me today that I have to approach the city of Loris, council, mayor, with what was brought to my attention. This is going to take about 5 to 7 minutes to read. I wish to not be interrupted. I will answer any questions, completely 100% transparent after what I have to say. And remember, one phone call, one, could have just as simply asked me, what about this check? Would have avoided what's about to unfold. Which brings into the question, intent of why it was done. Last week, a professional client of Dalton Pictures contacted me with a rather upset and was rather upset and disheartened by a video that they had seen, which was brought to my attention. So my personal name was in question, brought into question. That video I'm referring to is the City of Loris regular council meeting dated September 11th, 2023. Before we drill down on what was stated during that meeting, I want to bring a little bit of my past into this issue for a context of what's been done. I've participated in productions for the media, with media, for entities such as Immigrations and Customs Enforcement when it was turned over into Homeland Security, United States Air Force, United States Navy, Internal Revenue Service, European Union, large cinema chains, City of Beverly Hills. I was the chairman of the board for the Horry County Museum. I'm also the founder and director of the Myrtle Beach International Film Festival, named one of the top 25 festivals in the world out of over 5,000 festivals. And that's from Hollywood and Los Angeles. They did that. Last year, we were named, or this year, 2023, one of the top 5 festivals in South Carolina. This is something that I founded and direct, 19 years in the making. I can go on and on and on about accomplishments and things that I've done and what entities have entrusted me. It's utterly impossible to work inside these realms with a less than sterling integrity. They won't let you. You can't work on those projects without a sterling reputation. I also hold the general contractor's license, which is unblemished. And this comes into play with what Heather and I have taken on, a massive project to make Loris home to what I understand to be the only motion picture studio in a functioning downtown. This undertaking has cost massive amounts of capital and an immense amount of extremely hard labor by Heather and I. I'm sure that a lot of people in town have seen us filthy, crawling off those buildings, one of which should have been demolished, but it's now becoming brand new again, and it's close to completion. No one else wanted to tackle those buildings. Loris was set to begin housing production of motion picture in 2024, bringing with it economic development, travel, tourism opportunities. This has been in the works for decades. This just didn't happen overnight. Those projects weren't funded by any governments or any nonprofits or anything else. So am I. This is what part of Mr. Padgett has defamed. Needless to say, when Mr. Paget, representing the city of Loris in an official capacity, placed my personal name in the same context with misappropriation of funds, and that state laws may have been broken, this has caused serious implications. Before we discuss what was stated, I want to bring to light some definitions according to Black's Law Dictionary. And for those of you who are not legal aficionados or not attorneys, I know we have 3 in the room right now. Black's Law is the Merriam-Webster's of the legal world. It clearly and without mistake defines the definition by law in accordance to the legal world. I'm going to define defamation in Black's Law Dictionary. Defamation is the act of harming the reputation of another by making false statements to a third person. It is causing harm to another's good name. And these statements were false that you made. And I'm going to prove that when we're through with this portion. I'm now going to define, in accordance to Black's Law definition, the word that Mr. Paget used that will be discussed in a minute. And that's apparently. Apparently is defined by Black's Law, that which is obvious, evident, or manifest, what appears or have been made manifest. Manifest to a layman can mean many things. Usually means when you think about something hard enough, you can make it happen. Not in Black's Law. It drills down deeper. In Black's Law, it states that which is clear and requires no proof, that which is notorious. What's notorious? That's, in the law of evidence, matters deemed notorious do not require to be proved. So he can make a statement, it's already proven, there's no need to go any deeper. And you know these laws, because you're an attorney of many decades. These are some of the definitions that will play a heavy role in what we're about to discuss. I was going to talk about your math when you said 1.1,450,000. I've never heard of math like that. What is 1.1,450,000? And it wasn't just spoken of, you've written it down. I watched it on the video. So you had time to think about that. As Mr. Paget runs through a number of checks, he explains the entity of each check was written to, except for one. That would have been the one to Duncan Street Industries. A multi-member LLC, which we'll get to in a minute. Here's the statement that was made by Mr. Paget September 11, 2023, in a globally broadcast presentation and has been in print in numerous papers. My personal name. This is what is usually been written. This is by an outside magazine talking about how great what we're doing for Loris is. I have a member of city council who's besmirching all that. This is what he stated. I started looking into see where the contract of the funds came for that project. To my surprise, the city of Loris, without knowledge or approval of council, wrote checks to the artist Tommy Simpson totaling $14,000 and a check to Mr. Jerry Dalton's company, who owns the building where the mural was painted, in the amount of $8,200. You remember what we talked about with apparently? No proof needed? Apparently, to allow the mural to be painted on his building. All these things without knowledge or approval nor the authorization of city council. And I'd like to see your proof. How you know that that's what it was for. Do you have proof?
You said not have right.
That's fine. I want to know the proof, but that is a question. As you can see, I'm upset.
Don't worry, I have a response to your
Okay.
statement, so don't you worry.
Okay. Mr. Paget also stated while addressing the council during his few minutes on YouTube, it appears to me numerous expenditures from the hospitality fund that have been done improperly or in violation of state law and city ordinances. Those are all tied to my personal name. That's what people remember. They hear the 1.1 million, the 450,000, and I understand that mistakes can be made when being read. But they tie that to my personal name. Why did you use my name and not where the check went like you did with everybody else? Mr. Paget made these statements, which was not only spoken to others, but it's now printed in numerous newspapers and it's globally broadcast on the world's biggest network, which is YouTube. Would you like to know how many phone calls I've received about any of these newspapers or your question? About why the check was written and what it was written for? Because it wasn't written to Jerry Dalton. It was written to Duncan Street Industries. I neither took the check, I didn't deposit the check, and the check never went to me. Not one. No one ever picked up the phone, and I'm an extremely transparent person, because I believe it. No one picked up the phone to call me to say, hey, what was this for? That's disturbing. Now I'm going to explain what the check was written for. The mural on the side of 4128 Main Street, Loris, South Carolina, was to be part of the Dalton Picture Motion Picture Studio system. The building had a brand new, it was 4 years old, 5-ton 3-phase unit set on the wall. I'm going to ignore this and just speak. Keith Massey, who was acting as city clerk, called and said, hey, we have something we'd like to address with you.
Is that the gentleman who's running for office here?
Yes, it is. Yes, Mr. Keith, the retired, I don't know if he's retired, but he was a Secret Service agent. He also worked here for the city as a police officer, I believe, and then went into the city. Am I correct? Okay. He called me. He said, hey, we have something really exciting. We would like to paint a mural on the side of your building, well, you and Heather's building. Because she's half owners, which you never mentioned. I said, who's the artist? Because I don't want anything really strange going up there. As soon as he said Tommy Simpson is a renowned artist. I don't know if you know that. In the field which I work in, I come across a lot of artists. Tommy Simpson is probably the best painter that I've ever come across personally. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, yes, absolutely. So he said, we'd also like to come down and show you the rendering of what's been done. Keith came down. I think Samantha was there. You were there, right, with the rendering?
I don't know if I was there, yeah.
You were there, and a couple other people from council was there. And so it's not a hidden type behind the ruins type thing. It's right out on the side of the building. We're looking at it. I looked at the drawing, loved it. Heather said, absolutely. No money. We don't want no money to put that on the wall. Wouldn't dare think of it. Then with this 5-ton unit set halfway down the frame, he said, is there any way we can move that unit to the rooftop? If there was a way we could do it, would have been done, no money. You can't take a wall unit and put it on a rooftop. It doesn't work. But I said, went and took Heather aside. I said, would you be interested? I told him to hold on. Would you be interested in putting some money into this ourselves to make it happen? She said, absolutely. How much are you looking at? I said, I don't know, 3,000 to 7,000, because it's just coming off the top of my head. I'm starting to calculate all the new duct work and all this that has to be done. So I asked Keith, I said, would you split the bill at $8,200 with us to do this? And we'll eat the rest. He said, I think I can make that work. We'll see. Got to run it by some people. So he called me back at a later date and he said, we can make that work. After inflation, supply line issues, because if you've been in building, you just can't go down and pick up a commercial HVAC unit anymore. You can't go get 3-phase breakers anymore. You have to wait for months. The average cost to put a new 5-ton unit on a roof now is $20,000. So when you made the statement that basically you weren't quoting it, but basically, hey, I got $8,200, her and I will end up spending over $10,000 on this unit ourselves. Now, I don't bring that up because I don't like to brag or I don't like to boast. But the mural has cost us $10,000 out of our pocket. So when I seen what you had said, of course I was inflamed. We're out of pocket, and then I'm getting accused of something like this, and my name is being run through the mud. We went with it anyway and never said anything. He said that he would not be able to get to the extra portion of the wall till after Christmas, or I'm sorry, after the first of the year. I said, fine, we'll have it up by then, because it took us a while to get the unit in and everything else. He said, no problem. Honestly, I doubt he's gonna come back after this, because I wouldn't. He's painted a beautiful mural on the side of the wall, and now it has a bad feel to it as you look at it and you hear all of this that's going on. This should have never been brought up like this. You should have called me. You should have asked me what it was for before you just publicly blast my name without any knowledge of what the check was really for. And that only way to find that out is to call me personally. And I would have been more than glad to sit down with you and go through everything. In fact, we're doing a documentary on the mural. And I was going to ask you and several others to be in it. Because it's such a beautiful thing for Loris. It could be no further from the truth what you say to a line. That apparently, which means we don't need any proof, that the money was used just so you can use our wall, but you're gonna pay us, would be kind of underhanded. And I've already been contacted by one of my clients, asking me what this is about. I want to say that a disservice, not only has my name been basically liable to slander at this point, this is now in print. It's been a disservice to Loris too. It's incalculable. With Mr. Padgett's reckless pursuit. I have a picture here that was posted in the paper of the Tabor Loris Tribune. I wish the lady would have stayed here. Where she takes and puts Tommy Simpson's picture on there. And the headline reads, Forensic Audit. Sought in the Loris Hospitality Funds, that underneath it goes to explain the $22,000 and everything else like that. That doesn't do Loris any service. People came to see that mural. This isn't a way to build your city, it's a way to destroy the territory. We come down here, I mean, what's the message? Come down, spend 7 figures, work your fingers to the bone, and we'll burn you at the stake when you're about complete. Heather, do you have anything to say? Because you're involved in this too, the building's half yours.
Completely devastated.
I'm through. I had more to say, but don't feel like saying it now.
Let me ask you a few questions.
Yes, sir.
You got your corporation, got the check.
Yes, sir.
You're the registered agent for the corporation under the state of
Yes, I
South
am.
Carolina. And besides Mr. Keith Massey, did you talk to anybody else about the Bureau, about getting the money for moving the air conditioning unit?
I talked to Mr. Keith Massey. I had discussions with people about the drawing.
Right, anybody on council?
I didn't. That's not my business.
Exactly.
But my name was brought up.
Your name.
Not
was
Mr.
brought up
Keith Massey,
because
my
of the
name.
corporation that check went to, that this council, and that's what this is all about, is this council does not know what's going on in the city of Loris. It didn't have anything to do.
Oh, it has everything to do with me
No, it
now.
doesn't.
Tell that to the newspaper. Tell that to my clients.
Well, you tell people that. You
Tell that to the United States government when I go to
It's
the
about
project.
who wrote the check, and the council of Loris is responsible for all the administrative.
You feel okay if your name was brought up to task like this. You would feel okay.
I'm a lawyer, my name's been brought up 1,000 times. Now, I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking.
I'm sorry. This is me that's been defamed, not you. This is me. This is me. So you can't walk up and punch someone in the face and expect them not to respond. And that's what's happening. Only it's worse than a punch in the face. It's worse.
It was
It's
not
mine.
about you, it was not
It's
intended
not-
to be about you. I
Then
don't
why'd
care
you
what the
bring it up?
newspapers wrote. If you listen to my entire statement that I read, it's about this council not knowing what money is being spent because we don't have a chance to know anything about it. I also said the way I knew that the mural was going up was I read about it in the paper or passed by and saw what was going on. And I was told, and the documentation in this city, there is no minutes that you can find authorizing any of this, the payment of anything. There's not one set of minutes to do that. Am I wrong about that?
That's not my problem.
Exactly.
Exactly. So my name should have been brought up like it was.
You are the owner of the corporation.
No, I'm a member manager. No, you're wrong. I'm a member manager.
Corporation.
I'm a member manager. There is no owner. I'm a member manager. And you know that.
It's your corporation.
No, it is not. He's ignoring a female who owns half of it. Do you have a problem with women owning, do you have a problem with females owning businesses? Well, you're not acting, you said it's my business, it's both of them.
The statements that I made were about this council not knowing the money of the city that we have to approve was never presented to us and we never voted on. You're just a small tip of the iceberg.
Did you ever feel like picking up the phone and giving me a call and asking me what it was for?
That wasn't my issue. My issue was there was nothing in the city to justify the check that was written from the city's coffers to a corporation of
So
yours as well as Mr. Simpson.
My name is
As a
not
matter of
Teresa.
fact, the city paid that entire $14,000 plus the $8,000 and was told that a private citizen was gonna pay for that. And only half the money has come back to the city for those expenses. That's what I'm complaining about, is this council doesn't know what's going on.
So you're comfortable with running someone's name through the
I'm
mud
not
to make a
comfortable with
political
that. It
point?
was
That's
never
exactly what
anybody's
happened.
intention. Never anybody's intention.
That is exactly, you,
That's exactly, this is getting.
it's getting out of, yeah, but it
Getting
was
out of
wrong
hand.
to do, you wouldn't like it done to you. You wouldn't, especially after what's been done. I've never had a conflict with you.
Let's discontinue
I've never had
this
a conflict with
conversation.
Then why bring my name up like that? It
Mr.
hurt,
Dalton,
yes.
thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, this has occurred, and I wish it hadn't.
So do I.
I'll move
do I.
on to F, Brownsville Environmental Testing Grant.
You know, application from Waccamaw Regional Council Government reached out and, gave us some, they came, gave us some information that do have some monies available, should be spent April 26th of this past year, but it didn't, so it rolled over. So I asked, Brandy, the city clerk, to help me with the application, to see if we would qualify to get some money, and as long as the property is still in Mr. Parker's name, which it is, we can apply for this grant to do phase one.
It's the phase one of the, just to see what it'll take to bring it down safely, as far as what's
It's
inside.
100% grant, so it's not a match.
Bring it back down.
The building, when we let it taken down.
They
They wanna do it at our survey.
Old High School. I didn't know if council wanted to apply for it or not. This is labeled, Waccamaw Regional Council governors reached out to us and said, hey, look, this project would qualify 100% grant to do phase one. Basically.
I think, in all actuality, we should, if we can get any help at all.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Do you have any idea what the time frame?
It's supposed to be 6 months before the closing. I think it's on the front page of that.
It's once we close.
So I'm,
And maybe in the email that I have, I can forward that to you.
I mean, I'm all for applying for it, but we may not have 6 months under our feelings and. Unless we can see what's cooperation with Mr. Hart, Mr. Extending.
Like I said,
We don't have the luxury that much time unless we get an amendment.
right, get an amendment, and I think you could also probably get it done quicker than 6 months is what they, to kind of the maximum amount of time, so maybe, that's what I was hoping council would approve it. We'll speed up the process as much as we can. I don't think we're going to do it any time. I would just see, I would hate to see council miss out on the grant.
As long as that 6 month period of time doesn't kick in and mess us up, but, I mean, if we don't
apply,
we don't have a chance.
Make a motion that we approve for the city administrator to apply for the Brownsville Environmental Testing Grant as presented this evening.
A second. First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Passes. You're gonna go ahead and take care of that then?
Yes.
Well, thank you. And we have the appointments, still have the City of Dolores Planning Commission and the City of Dolores Board of Zoning Appeals are still.
We need some volunteers.
So that's exactly right. We need some volunteers. So we'll move on from there to departmental reports. Ricky, do you have anything possibly to report on Public Works? I know Jordan had to be at something else during this period of time.
Yeah, just a minimal leg. I know y'all see that they're working on the project out on the end of number 9, and they started on that. And, I called, Ryan Hayes, and he was working on the grant. We're just gonna join into that. I'm supposed to meet him this week about that, finalize some stuff on that. He said once that's done, that probably within the next couple of months, we'll be able to bid the water line and stuff, that Walnut and stuff that we got, grant and stuff for. All the water meters and stuff now, going like geocode data. So they're really moving forward with the, lead and copper program,
Thanks, sir. I appreciate that. Code enforcement, we got a, report on that. Recreation, do you have anything? Let's go.
The only thing currently is, football is currently going on, volleyball has started practicing, cheerleading going on. I don't have any specific details about any of the programs at this time.
Okay. Well, they're busy out there, that's for sure.
Parents ordered cheerleader uniforms. And I understand they've had to play 4 games now, and the cheerleader uniforms are not back. So the parents are getting real restless.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this past Friday, all that was settled.
This past Friday?
Yes, ma'am. It's my understanding that Woody Henson got that settled. When Tim ordered the uniforms, they ordered all the uniforms from way far away from here. And some of them showed up, some of them didn't. So Woody went to the Loris Drug Store and he made arrangements for cheerleading uniforms to be done right here in the city of Loris so they can be outfitted. So Tim ordered them, but they came in way behind like a lot of things have been doing for a while. So it's another good reason to order right here in the city of Loris where we can get them. You can save $1, but if you don't get nothing, it's not very well. So anyhow, I think most everybody knows that Loris Drug Store gives us a pretty good deal on things, and we go right there and get one extra anytime we want to. That's where Blue Pride gets their hats, and that's where we should get everything, I think. Oh yeah, they print up everything, and they do a fine job. All the Blue Pride hats are done there. We don't go anywhere but that. We need an extra one, go there and get one, or we go over there and get 25 more. So it's ideal. And we have a police department report. I did not see a fire department report. Matter of fact, I hadn't seen one in 3 months. So we definitely need to figure that out. I guess when you have that meeting, Councilwoman, let's go, we can maybe find out about that. Executive session has contractual matters on there.
I do have an email that I sent to the council that everybody got applied to, and then.
Well, everybody's the same, man.
So if y'all proceeding the way that I suggested, then
Maybe whoever hadn't answered, go ahead and answer, and maybe we can go ahead and take care of that. So other than that, if we're not going to executive session, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate
Yes.
totally respect that.
Yeah, where we are at.